Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? Excuse me. I'm doing pretty well. As you can see, I have Henry here, and I'm going to do a bit of stitching on him while we chat. I hope you all have your stitching ready to go, and you're stitching along with me. Today I just woke up. It is a Saturday morning. I am stitching, and the reason I'm filming on Saturday morning is because I have not really been feeling like stitching this week. And to be honest, I think it was because of Henry. So I think after this filming video, and less because of the video, I get a big urge to push on with him. He might be going away for a little bit. Now, I will say don't go like, oh, he's not going to go far. I'm not even going to put him all the way back into his storage area, because I want to keep him handy in case I do get the urge, so that I can pull him right back out and continue working on him. Since I do have a good foundation of this page started, I can easily continue on the confetti. But I think because of, I don't know, I'm just not really feeling like working on dense confetti right now. And it might be where I'm at with work and everything, and it's maybe a little bit too much right now for me, stitch wise. So I don't know, but so we'll see. So you'll have to wait and see if I continue working on him next week or not. Now obviously tomorrow is Sunday, so I will be working on my secret stitch, hoping to get a good bit done on that. And then Monday I'll decide what I want to do as far as what project to work on. Now on last week I did order, when did I order that? I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. I ordered some fabric from 123 Stitch because I have a new pattern that I want to get stitched up. So once that fabric comes, I will be taking the time to stitch that pattern so I can get it ready to go. I know a lot of you are hoping that I will do a finishing video on how I hand stitch a pillow. So I will be getting that ready to go so I can show you how I hand stitch a pillow, because this will be another small. So yeah, so that's all in the works for the coming week, hopefully. If you hear in the background, I have the doors open today. It is going to be another beautiful 80-degree day here in South Jersey. So I had to have the doors open. Gio's currently sitting on the balcony eating his nuts. He came up right away first thing in the morning here and is enjoying his breakfast while I stitch. I have birds singing in the trees, and so I'm going to enjoy the weather, because I think tomorrow is going to get back down into the colder temperatures. I think 40s and 50s. So just a hint of 80s before it gets cold again. But I will take it because I am ready for the warmth. So honestly, I wasn't even sure if I was going to stitch on Henry for this video, but I know so many of you were hoping that I would be working on him for this Stitch With Me video, so I figured I would do a little bit of this section where it's just one color, where it's not that hard, not that so that I would, you know, I could easily talk. But once it gets into the heavy confetti sections, such as over here on in the main, this is all confetti over here. So once I get over here, I'm not going to be able to do a Stitch With Me video because it's just going to be too much. So again, I'm stitching Henry 1 over 1 on 28 count white Lugana. I started Henry back in December of 2016. So I've been stitching on him for a year and 5 months. I have just over half of him done. Of course, the easiest parts are done, and now it's all the heavy confetti parts, but that's okay. I originally said that I had a goal of getting him completed by the end of the year. I no longer am holding myself to that goal. I feel like that was stressing me out and was making me not want to stitch on him, because I knew how much confetti there was. So at this point, there's so much other stuff that I want to stitch, and if I were to try to get him done by the end of the year, I would pretty much have to monogamously stitch on him for almost the remaining part of the year. At least a good 8 months. Wait a minute, that would be the rest of the year. A good 6 to 7 months. So through October, and I just don't feel like doing that because there's so much other stuff that I want to stitch on. Okay, so I'm up to there. Let me mark my pattern. Oh. I apologize, people. I have to get a tissue. My nose keeps running. Along with having the doors open is spring allergy season. Woohoo! Okay, so one of the questions I had from post question and answer live video on Monday from a wonderful supporter was, what do I do how do I decide, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have it in front of me because I'm using all of my devices that I would use to look up the comment. And the comment was, how do I decide how many threads on fabric, on what count fabric I believe, for a project? So for me, the first thing I do is decide how big I want the project to be. So in this case, Henry, originally Heaven and Earth Designs call for 25 count fabric. I'm doing it on 28 because I wanted it a little bit smaller. I also wanted to use one thread instead of two because I like the way if I can do one over something instead of two over something, I will always go I will pick that any day because it's just, to me, it lays better, it looks nicer. Personal preference. Now, so that's the first thing I do, is decide what size fabric I want to use. So how big do I want the project, the final finished piece to be? And then from there, I decide what I think would be the best coverage. So in Henry's case, I went onto Facebook and I asked a bunch of people, would you use 2/1 or 1/1 on 28 count? And I got, the vast majority of people said 1/1 because 2/1 would be way too thick and be too bulky and it would be too hard to put your needle through everything. And it makes total sense because I even have a difficult time at times in heavy confetti areas getting my needle through 1/1. So, and I love the coverage, but also keep in mind, for me, if there is some pockets of fabric peeking through, it's not the end of the world for me because I don't mind that look, because to me it looks like it's a needlework piece. And so, and that's what we're doing. So if there's some spots where it's not perfect coverage, it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. So that, but if I'm not sure what I want, what kind of coverage I want, or how many threads on the fabric I want to use, I will do a test swatch. So much similar to knitting where you do a test gauge, I will stitch a few rows of a certain color on the fabric just to see how it looks with 1/1 and 2/1. 1/1, 1/2, you know, whatever I'm doing, to see until I get a good feel for how for the types of fabric that are out there. Now I will tell you, for my go-to fabrics, I have a pretty good feel for what I'm going to do. 40 count, I'm always going to do 1/1 or 1/2. 28 count, I'm always going to do 1/1 or 1/1 or 2/2. .32 count, I'm going to do 2/2. 36 count, I'm not sure, because the only thing I've ever done on 36 count is my Crowns of the Kingdom, and that was metallic threads. So I would probably do a test swatch. And if I'm unsure of what I want to do, I ask my friends. So if you hear in the background, I'm not sure if you can hear it or not, but I'm just going to say it out there anyways. I do have some unnatural sounds going on in the background because I'm doing some laundry. I have been neglecting my housework for my crafting, so I have to catch up on the weekend. Oops, what am I doing? So again, if you have any other questions or areas of interest that you would like to have me talk about during these Stitch With Me videos, I would love to hear from you. You know, for me, it is hard to come up with topics to discuss on these Stitch With Me videos. I didn't really have a topic other than I wanted to answer that question today. And now it's going to get really loud because my washer gets loud whenever it's spinning. I apologize, but you know, such is life. Let's just let that run for a minute. So again, if you have any other questions, topics, interest areas, please let me know. I am going to finish out this row, let the music play, and This will be a slightly shorter video this week, but that's all right. And I will see you next time. So enjoy. Happy stitching. I hope you got lots of stitching done this week. And don't forget, be creative.